Good morning, everyone. This is Nathan Lindorf with The Rational Independent. Today is a milestone day. After just a few weeks of content, I got my first comment on YouTube. Do you want to take a guess whether it was positive and supportive or antagonistic? I'm going to lean towards antagonistic. In the interest of full disclosure, I'm going to go ahead and read it, and then we're going to talk about it. Notice he doesn't have his kids with him. And he's hiding out in his car and not working or helping his wife with his 4 kids. Must be nice to be the father of 4 kids while your wife is clearly carrying the load. Men should not talk about abortion, period, because they don't put their lives on the line. So, my first reaction, honestly, is sympathy. It must be miserable to live your life so bitter and antagonistic. I would love to try and help this person be a happier person. Now, it's possible that they thought that I was just being incredibly rude and inconsiderate. So let's discuss that for a bit. If I'm being critical of my own argument, if I'm to take my own argument and dissect it, which is something we should practice doing, steel manning our own arguments, as it were. It's possible that I'm wrong. It's possible that a fetus is not a human life. That is within the realm of potential possibilities. I don't think so, but let's just assume for a moment with a hypothetical that that's true. If that's the case, what am I doing? I'm arguing that women should be forced to carry to term something that is not a life, but if left unharmed, will eventually become a life. Everyone agrees that after the baby is born, it's a baby. And we know that because we can see it with our eyes. And we can tickle their little fingers and their tummies. So, it's possible I'm wrong. It's possible that when it comes to abortion, there are terrible situations where, through controlling and manipulative ways, an expectant mother is forced to go through the burden of pregnancy. And the end result of that is life. I have to consider that into the calculation. It's very interesting to me that she says men should not discuss this because they don't put their lives on the line. There's much that needs to be said about masculinity in our modern culture, and that's probably a topic we're going to be touching on in more detail as we go along. But one of the clear, virtuous aspects of masculinity is the willingness to put our own lives and livelihoods and reputations on the line to protect the innocent. If you look at soldiers who go to war, firefighters, police officers, explorers, you see almost exclusively men willing to go out and put their own life on the line in order to protect the safety and well-being of their family and their loved ones, or even total strangers. How many of the men who died in World War II were single 18, 19, 20-year-old men, didn't have a family of their own, and they put everything on the line to protect innocent life? Now, that's not something I've been asked to do. But if you want to ask me if I'm willing to try and protect life, the answer is yes. Because the simple truth is, you say the mother puts her life on the line. That's true. Pregnancy and childbirth is dangerous. Less so in the modern world, but still dangerous. But you know what else is dangerous? To the fetus? Aborting it. Killing the baby. The baby's life is on the line also. I think this is the crux, as I've seen and I've looked at abortion arguments. This is the crux. Either you're making a cost-benefit analysis between 2 lives, or your cost-benefit analysis puts the mother's life on one scale and nothing else on the other. Everything else in this argument flows from that difference. If it's two lives that we're balancing, it's a whole different conversation. If it's one life, that changes things. Now, today we discussed how it may be only the mother's life during pregnancy, but we all agree that if you leave the baby alone, eventually you're going to have a baby on the line. So in a few months, we're now talking about two lives. But to steelman their argument, either scientifically, it is the mother's life against no life, or it is the mother's life weighed against the child's life. So, I invited the person who commented and I said I'd love to have a more substantive conversation. Given that it's YouTube comments section, I doubt it. So I thought I'd break it down here and discuss it a little more. Now, I also thought it was interesting that she chose to take this opportunity to disparage my character. That's fine. It's the internet. I'm a big boy. But the choice of what she chose to attack, I thought was very illustrative. She said, I'm not working. I'm not helping with the kids. Must be nice to have 4 kids and let the mom do all the work and the heavy burden. Why does she want me to work to support these kids? If she's an advocate, if she would be perfectly fine if when we had these kids before they were born, I chose to help my wife, pay for my wife or whatever, and we chose to abort those babies. If that is a morally virtuous choice, why would you want to disparage my character saying, well, he's not supporting his children properly? Seems to be a little inconsistent. So, to answer the other question she says, he doesn't have his kids with him. There's a reason for that. The internet's full of crazy people. You're not going to see my kids. They're not showing up on this channel. They are going to be given the gift of privacy and anonymity to the greatest extent that I can. Now, this is just a little channel. I doubt it'll ever turn anything into anything big, but the internet has the potential to go crazy. And so my wife and I have discussed it, and we've decided to keep the children out of the mix. Now, the other element to that is my wife. Believe it or not, she supports my efforts here. Thank goodness. It'd be hard to do it without that. But on top of that, she is a very private person. I'm extroverted. I like talking to people. And I'm going to continue to talk to people as much as I can. I look forward to engaging with the world and wrestling with some of these thorny issues. So that's why I'm doing this. She is not interested. So she's never going to be on this channel. So ask yourself this question. If you work full-time and you have 4 beautiful, vivacious, crumb-snatching noise monsters in your house, and you'd like to sleep every once in a while, and you need a quiet place to record, how do you solve that problem? I don't have a studio. I'm just a dude. So even though the lighting sometimes sucks, even though there's background noises and horns that honk and whatever, this is what I've got. So this is what I'm giving you. I record on my commute on my way into work. If I drive into work and I get here early enough, then I record before work. If not, I do it on my lunch break. And I live stream on my way home when I would be driving anyway. I happen to have a long drive to work, at least in my current job. So I have enough time to chat. So there you go. First comment. Yay! For anyone out there who is wondering whether or not it is worth it to engage in this conversation, it's worth it. Because if we stay silent, then we make no contributions to the culture. If we stay silent, if we are only consumers and not citizens, then we are eating what we're fed, emotionally, mentally, whatever you want to call it. And we have no control over what's brought into our lives. And then we're shocked when we don't like what's being produced. Sounds like maybe we have a little bit of culpability there. Again, I'm more than willing to be critical of myself and of even my quote-unquote my own side. I think it's important that each of us is willing to challenge our beliefs, is willing to think critically about the things that we believe and that we put into the world. Because I think if we push on our beliefs, if we challenge them, then those beliefs that stand are a more firm footing for when the real storms come. That's my 2 cents. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day. Cheers.